Resentment. Resentment is the bitter indignation, which is anger or annoyance, at having have been mistreated, treated unfairly, treated unjustly. The thing is, resentment feels justified. It feels like it's our right to be pissed off and hate people who have treated us badly, which in a sense isn't entirely wrong. We as human beings tend to lean towards justice in a sense, towards fairness. This is why we feel resentment in the first place. People that have bullied us, people that have lied to us, manipulated us, backstabbed us, you name it. We'll feel resentment towards those people because we truly believe that they have done something that's unjust. However, the issue with resentment is that we end up holding on to it as a way to remain a victim of a situation that most of the time we're no longer even a part of. By allowing ourselves to remain a victim, we don't actually allow ourselves to grow, to move on, to learn. We remain a victim anchored by resentment itself and unable to move from it. My favourite quote about resentment is by St. Augustine, which goes, "Resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die." And this perfectly encapsulates the entirety of resentment. It is something that poisons us. It's something that we do willingly to a degree where we know that we feel justified in it, but actually it just harms us. And the other person doesn't feel anything towards it. They are not hurt unless we can have some psychic ability where we can throw our, anger onto them, our hurt onto them. It does nothing but harm us in reality. When we think about people who we resent, they end up poisoning our heart in a sense. When we think about these negative experiences, we think about these people and we have these negative thoughts, this hate, this annoyance, this resentment that we feel justified in. It ends up doing a lot more harm to our mental health and our, spiritual health as well. When we remember these events that happened, when we see these people or just think about them continuously, we feel fully justified in our resentment towards them. However, it truly doesn't serve us a purpose. The thing is, we allow these thoughts, these negative thoughts, this resentment to enter our mind, and through that we allow our prolonged suffering. We still remain the victim of the situation, and we hold on to it because we feel righteous in it. The book The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down by Hanem Sunim, brilliant book, I highly recommend it, has a quote which I would like to read because I think it's very, very powerful. If I can find it. When we hate someone, we think about him a lot. Unable to let him go, we gradually begin to act like him, which is true. When you hold people so close to your heart in that sense that you constantly fill your mind with the things that they have done wrong, you will in turn act like them. And he goes on to say, don't let them become a long-term tenant of the heart. Evict him right away with a notice of forgiveness. And that is exactly how you cure this resentment, is forgiveness. In order to no longer feel resentment towards people or group who you truly believe have treated you unfairly, you have to forgive them. And it doesn't feel fair. It doesn't. You want to, get your own back or settle the score. And the reality is, life isn't a high school movie. It's not. And when you are so encapsulated, you're so just wound up by it, you're just enwrapped, you're just almost trapped. Well, yeah, you are. You are trapped by it. You're trapped by this resentment and you feel justified in it. The last thing you want to do is to forgive them. But the thing is, forgiveness is not for them. And I'll read a couple more quotes from The Things You Can See. The person who betrayed you and left, the person who stole from you and disappeared, the person who stabbed you in the back and acted as if nothing happened, forgive them. Not for them, but for your own sake. Truly, completely, for yourself. Not because they deserve your forgiveness, not because they are only human. Forgive them. So you can be free, so you can be happy, so you can go on living your life. And it's true, resentment is something that we end up experiencing because we have been mistreated. However, holding on to it isn't of any benefit to us, and therefore forgiving them is actually of benefit of us. It's not for them. Forgiveness has never been for other people, it's always kind of been for ourselves. Forgiveness is a selfish act, but in a selfish way that actually allows you to move forward. There's also another quote, do I want to keep carrying this resentment in my heart? Do I want to live as a victim forever? And I think that just says that really we have the choice. Do you want to stay a victim of these events that have happened long ago, these events you keep reliving in your mind, hoping that there's an opportunity in which that you can settle the score, and then what? Sink to their level. Be disgusted in yourself because you ended up doing the exact same thing that you hated these people for, and that is exactly it, poisoning your heart, your mind. You end up being polluted by it. I do, though, however, believe that it is important to humanize those that have treated us wrong. They are people, they are fallible, just as I am, just as you are watching this. No one is perfect. No one human being has ever been without fault in a situation. And I think about when I used to make gaming content. I used to stream video games. I used to be in this little kind of tiny community, The Last of Us multiplayer, like Last of Us factions. So if you even knew that existed, congratulations, you're one of like the 5 people that know that exists. But there were some people who hated me. You know, I disliked them, for lack of a better word, and they hated me, they harassed me, they spread rumors about me. And at the time I hated them, I resented them. I thought that they were awful and they were pieces of shit. But looking back on it, I really have humanized them. And I realized that they each had their own problems. I learned that one of them was an alcoholic who lost his parents very early on. Another one was an alcoholic who would have physical fights with his dad very frequently. And the last one was extremely insecure about his appearance. Does this validate any of their actions that were negative towards me and unjust? No, but it at least highlights to me that they're hurt. They didn't know how to express themselves. They didn't know how to process their feelings in a healthy way, so they took to online spaces to spread hate because it made them feel good about themselves for about 5 seconds. And I don't hate them for it. Not anymore, at least. The thing is as well, in reality, I was kind of no better than them. I still played a role in the entire deal. I played a part in arguing with them. I played a part in talking shit about them. I am at fault to a degree as well. And that is something that we tend to ignore when it comes to resentment, is the fact that what role did we play in making it worse? Because in reality, we all kind of took part in it. We all took part in making things worse, when in reality our actions could have been better. But eventually, over time, and after reading The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down and taking some of the practices to mind, I eventually learned to forgive them, along with childhood bullies, along with people who manipulated me or stabbed me in the back, or people who I believe fully betrayed me. And for me personally, the way I did that, and the way I managed to do that, was through prayer. And now Luke 6:27-28 states that, "But I say unto you which hear, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you, bless them that curse you, and pray for them which despitefully use you." And that's what I did. I said a prayer for them. I prayed that those that I'd argued with, those that were going through rough times and I wasn't of any benefit to in the situation, to those who had wronged me, who had bullied me, who had picked on me, who had spread rumors about me, who had despitefully used me. I prayed for their health. I prayed for their protection. I prayed so that they were in a better place than when I interacted with them. The book, The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down, says that no one is inherently good or bad. It is just the situation and the circumstances we meet them in. And I think that's true. These people who I truly believe have wronged me, I do not believe they are bad people. Even to a degree, I don't view it as them of wronging me either anymore. I have let go of that chain. And the thing is, when it comes to them, I don't think of them anymore with kind of anger, or at all really. In fact, when I think of them and I don't feel negative thoughts, I actually feel happy. So it truly shows that I have let go, I've forgiven them. And for me, personally, prayer worked, but there are some other ways. You can write them letters, or you can do journal entries towards them. There was a girl that used to pick on me throughout school, primary, middle, high school, and I hadn't seen her for years, but now all of a sudden our kind of schedules align for a little bit, and I would see her at the shops after work. So I'd go to a shop after work and I'd see her there sometimes. I haven't spoken to her, maybe I will, I don't know, but whenever I see her, I do not feel resentment, I do not feel hate, I do not feel anger, I do not feel annoyance. And because I don't feel those things, I feel happiness, because I have truly let go. And I'm now going to end this on something that I wrote about resentment, which goes like this: resentment is never worth the cost. It is a poison that we drink in hopes that it harms another. Resentments are the chains that we hold on to that keep us below the surface of the water. And only when we let go of those chains can we breathe in air instead of harmful water. And I know it's hard to forgive those who have mistreated us, but only through forgiveness, really, can we genuinely move forward.